Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
My name is Hannah, and I'm going to be fitting you for a golf glove today, okay?
Awesome.
So it's going to involve me doing some measuring of your hand, taking the palm width, the finger circumference, as well as doing some molding. But before we begin, I need to ask you a few questions about the glove itself. So I'm just going to bring up your profile here. Okay. So which hand would you be using the glove on predominantly?
I'm actually looking for both hands.
Okay. Perfect. And which hand is your dominant hand?
The right hand.
The right hand. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, both having two gloves is really popular right now. Gives a lot more control, so that makes sense. Okay. And then what type of fit do you normally like in your golf gloves? Are like a little bit looser, super snug, somewhere in between?
Pretty fitted.
Pretty fitted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any, this is more cosmetic, but do you have any preference on, usually the gloves are white. Is that going to be okay for you?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay. Okay, and then when are you looking to have this finished by?
Hopefully by sometime at the end of the month.
End of the month, okay. Yeah, that should be no problem. Our production time is usually about 2.5 weeks.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, I've got that all entered in. So I'm going to go ahead and start the measurements now. You can just lay your hands out flat for me. I'm just going to take a look at them. And I just want to make sure there's nothing particularly that I should pay attention to when I'm crafting the gloves. And it looks like all looks good, so if you just flip them over for me. Okay. Is there anything on your hands you're concerned about? Any spots that are prone to callousness that we should put extra padding in?
No.
No, okay, yeah, it looks great. I'm not seeing any signs of callousing or hardness or swelling or anything like that where we'd want to accommodate for that in the glove. Okay, excellent. You can go ahead and flip them back over. So I'm just going to start by getting some basic measurements, and I'm going to be just recording these on a left and right paper. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your right hand. All right. So just spread them out as much as you can, exactly. And this one can relax for now. I'm just feeling for the bones in your wrists. I'm going to go ahead and measure out from that hand. I'm going to start out all from this wrist right here. Is this the typical length of your fingernails?
Yeah, about.
Okay.
Maybe a little long, actually.
They're a little long today. That's actually better. That way we have a little bit more room. What we don't want to do is not allocate enough space, just in case you haven't, maintained your nails that day. And now I'm just going to do it from the other side of your wrist, okay? Same measurements. I'm going to go ahead and get length around your wrist. So lift up for me. Good, perfect. And go ahead and set back down. Okay. And now I'm just going to go ahead and measure the palm of your hand from end to end. as well as get a length from each joint here to the top of the finger. Last one. Okay. And go across the knuckles here in the main part of the hand. Okay, and now we're just going to get a circumference of each of your fingers at each joint. Okay, so for the thumb, it's going to be this top joint. Good. This one. Okay, and this one to the corner. I'm just going to do that for all 5 fingers, okay? Let me know if you're in any discomfort, and I can go ahead and take a break. Okay. Good. Excellent. And just this middle finger, lift that up for me. Thank you so much. Okay. I am seeing good consistency as well, so that should make production easier, so I don't anticipate any delays. Okay, perfect. Last thing I want to do is just go around your hand, so you can lift this hand up for me and get a full circumference here. Great. Put your fingers all the way together for me closed. And get a full circumference there. And then can you spread them nice and wide as they can go. Okay. Alright. So that's everything with the tape measure. I do want to use calipers just to get a couple of precise measurements of the more curved areas. So I'm going to do your wrist. I'm going to get from the widest part of your hand. Again, these knuckles here. Okay, and close these for me. And then spread your thumb out as wide as it can go from the rest of your fingers. And I just want to get that distance. You're fine. Thank you so much. All right, flip your palm over for me if you would. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and check those. Make sure that they're all the same from the side. Looks good. That one's just a little bit shorter, so I'm going to just record that. Some slight tapering, that's super normal. The palm does curve in naturally, so that's to be expected. Okay. And that's the same. And that looks good too. All right, excellent. So that looks good for this hand. Go ahead and let that hand relax. I'm going to do the same measurements on the left side, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and take all these measurements. So I'm going to start with around your wrist. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just, if you wouldn't mind resting it down a little bit, that would be great. So I can get from that wrist to each finger. Okay, good. I'm doing the other side as well, just like before. Go ahead and get across here, the fattest part of your palm. And I'm also just going to get across the top there. Alright, now I need to get a measurement from the base here all the way to the top of each finger. So let's start with the thumb actually. 2 3/4. Good. Perfect. All right, can you go ahead and squeeze your hands together? And, you can leave the thumb out. Sorry about that. Just gonna get across the knuckles here. All right, and I want to just get the circumference of each of your joints. Same as the other side. Thank you. Almost there. Okay. Good. Last one here, thank you. And my final measurement is just if you could lift up your hand for me and go ahead and get underneath around the full circumference of the hand. All right, last thing, I'm just going to do a few things with the calipers, same as the other side. So this is just double checking all those measurements that I just took. Giving myself a visual aid for when we craft the gloves. Thank you. All right, go ahead and flip your palm over. I'm just going to go ahead and check those. And it's just a little bit thinner, so I'm just going to make a note of that. We should taper that. Perfect. Just a little thinner for that one too. It is totally normal for our hands to be asymmetrical, just like any other part of our body, like our face. it's very, very normal. All right, and just that thumb, sorry, one more time. Nice and wide. Perfect. Perfect. Just double checking that. And that looks exactly the same. Okay. Very good. All right, you can sit back and relax for just 1 second. Just going to go ahead and prepare the work area. So I want to take some sketches of your hands. So I have the left one here. Go ahead and place that down, palm down, just like that. Before we start, I'm just going to make a note of how thick my pen tip is. Pencil tip. It's just about 1/4 centimeter. And that will just let me know how far away I am and how much I need to compensate. Go ahead and remove your hand. I just want to check that. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and slide your hand onto there. Again, I'm using a 1/4 inch round. And just pull it up just a little bit. Perfect. Take a look. Okay, that looks good. And again, this is just a rough estimate so we can run it against production. We do have all those measurements and we are going to do the fitting. Right, wonderful. So next thing I want to do is just take some molds. It's actually going to be the last thing we're going to do today. So I'm just going to first sanitize your hands. I'm going to dust off anything that could be remaining, anything that would get inside the mold. You can go ahead and just flip your hands for me. Thank you so much. And when we prevent any dust getting into the mold for us, it helps us just have a really smooth finish. Helps us really get the grip right to your hands. What we want to avoid is the glove moving, as the club rotates in your hand, keeping the glove from getting caught up in it, or there being too much fabric, or there being any uneven spots. Now I'm going to have you sanitize, so I'm just going to spray. Close your eyes for me. I'm just using a clean cloth. Okay, go ahead and turn to the side. Again, keep those eyes closed. Don't want to get anything in you. I'm just going to put on some gloves as well to make sure that I don't get anything contaminated from my own hands onto yours. We're just going to take some general molds. Again, you said your right hand was your dominant hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take these of your right hand. This is mostly to get a sense of texture, of shape. So if you can just go ahead and remove that hand for me and place this one more directly in the center. Have you been able to get out on the course at all this season?
A little bit, yeah.
That's good. I know it's been rainy, so I know a lot of my clients have really struggled with that rain. So I'm going to start with your thumb. I'm just going to work the mold around it, okay? Let me know if you're uncomfortable at all. I feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just going to leave that there as it sort of hardens up a little bit. Just make sure it's fully bubbles out. Feel a bubble in there? Okay. So for these molds, we take the thumb, the pointer finger, and the ring finger, and we're able to build a good sense of shape around that. And then we're also going to get a mold of the palm. And that is really important because we want to make sure that it's really snug to your palm. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and gently remove this one. Just peeling it away until I can pop it off. Okay, perfect. Looks like you got a good mold there. So I'm going to set that aside. Good. Okay. Perfect. I'll just go ahead and remove any excess clay that might have stuck to you. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, flip it over. I'm going to get the mold of your palm. Just gonna let that sit for just a minute. We'll make sure we get the mold indented, okay? All right, I'm gonna peel this off now. Excellent, that's a great mold. All right. So I did leave a little bit of residue on there though, so I'm just gonna take that off. Don't want to send you out into the world with too much clay in your hands. Okay, you can go ahead and set both hands back on there. I'm just going to take a look, make sure I didn't leave any clay. Okay. Everything that we've done today, I'm going to get entered into our system, and I'm going to send over to the manufacturers. They're going to whip up some sort of thing for you to try, some sort of gloves for you to try and do a try on in about 2 weeks, and then we'll have the final for you about a week after that, okay?
Perfect.